Students are back in class at UNM and other colleges and universities across the state, and paying for college and everything outside of school is a concern for many young people. Credit cards are easily available to new college students, but there's no requirement that they learn how to manage their finances before signing up for one. That can lead to trouble later, and our correspondent Gwyneth Dolan sat down with two local financial experts to hear what they tell students about managing a budget, saving, and getting yourself out of trouble if you've made a bad financial decision.
With me today, we have Judy Rees, the Vice President of Marketing Public Relations at Kirtland Federal Credit Union. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Gwen.
And across the table, Shauna Runk, who is the Vice President of Community Relations and Financial Capabilities at Newsenda Credit Union. That's the one formerly known as New Mexico Educators Federal Credit Union.
Yes, it is.
So this is summer, late summer. It's a season of tradition, of transition for young people in New Mexico. Thousands of high school graduates are packing up their trunks and heading off to college. Many of them are living on their own for the first time, setting up their bank accounts, getting college IDs and credit cards. Some of them, they're starting to pay their own bills and signing their name for student loans. Judy, how well equipped do you think students in New Mexico are now to handle those kinds of finances?
Well, I do believe there was a recent study done that said New Mexico high school students only ranked with a C average on financial literacy. So I would think that they're doing okay, but honestly...
C average is pretty good for us, I think.
I think they're doing as well as their parent or guardian might have prepared them to do. And sadly, that may not be as far down the road as we'd like them to be, and certainly not setting them up for success. I was just talking with some young people this past weekend at an event that we had, and then a vendor as well, talking about, well, what advice did your parent give you about saving money or spending money or credit cards? And what I was told was, when I got my first credit card, my parents told me, don't use it. Just don't use it. And I know I'm way older than the current genre of people going through high school or going into college, but my parents told me, yes, make money, just don't spend it. Well, that'll only get you so far because you still have to live. You have to pay your student loans. It's good to create your credit history. So I don't think we're incredibly unique in that our high schoolers graduating, going on to college, are not necessarily well prepared for the financial life. Wouldn't you agree, Shauna?
Absolutely, and financial literacy is absolutely important. I agree 100%. At Newsenda Credit Union, we try to take that a step further, and we talk a lot about financial capability, which is really taking that financial knowledge of financial concepts and taking that and applying behavior changes that we know create financial success throughout their lifetimes. So
things like, if you use this credit card for anything that isn't an emergency, we will take it away. Is that the kind of, like system you're talking about?
Well, and credit cards especially can be used very positively. They can be used to help build credit. We tell students that if you are going to get a credit card, put a bill that you're normally going to pay on it. So cell phone is a common one that all students relate to, it seems. So pay that bill with your credit card and then pay that credit card off every month. So you're building some credit history, but you're not getting in a situation where you're getting in trouble with credit.
And of course, we're tenured enough to know that if you pay off your credit card bill entirely before it's due or as it's due, you don't incur any interest with it. So It's really no harm, no foul. You're just building a credit history, which will be valuable throughout the rest of your life.
What's the credit limit on some of these first cards that these kids will be using?
Generally around $500 is
not
what
very
I've
high.
seen.
So it limits the trouble they can get in.
Right.
Shauna, recent college graduates are out there now who just graduated a few months ago. They're working, some of them at their first real jobs and making real money. They're being asked to make all these decisions. How much do you want to have withheld from your check? I don't know. What's the difference? They're being asked if they want to join the retirement plan at work. And do they want, to join the health plan? How can parents best prepare them for decisions like that?
Right. There's a lot that students are required to make decisions about at a very early age. And one thing that's really difficult for students to even think about, but it's so important, is saving. And that's short-term emergency savings as well as long-term retirement. And it's so hard to think about when you're 19, 20 years old to think about, well, I'm in college and there's no way I can save money. I'm a poor college student. But we know that of students who end up not finishing their college education, 70% of them cite financial hardship as the reason that they didn't graduate from college. And a lot of times we know it's those just everyday emergencies, a car repair, or I have to change my living situation and I need first month's and last month's rent and a security deposit. So it's those just everyday emergencies that can often derail a college education.
Is there a percentage of the money that you have or make that you should set aside in savings? Is there a number like that we can?
Experts usually recommend anywhere between 10 and 20% to set aside for savings. And one of the behaviors that we teach with our financial capability trainings and workshops is a strategy called pay yourself first. So we know that if people wait till the end of the month to say, okay, well, whatever I have left over, I'm going to put in savings. I don't have any left over at the end of the month. So that's not a very effective strategy. So if you treat your savings like a bill, if you pay it, immediately as just a regular responsibility, then even that $5 or $10 that you're putting aside will grow and will help you when you do encounter some of those emergencies.
Gwyneth, something that makes that easier is if you do an automated transfer from, if you're having your direct deposit into your checking account, have it automatically transferred a certain amount every month to your savings account, and just make it where you don't see it as far as paying attention.
And you
to
can
that
set
kind
that
of
up
thing.
on the bank website.
Yes, you can.
Absolutely.
Credit union website.
Right. And although the minimum is 10 to 20%, if you're not having huge debt, say perhaps you're fortunate enough you're going to school but you're living at home,
right,
then your expenses are drastically reduced. So please consider saving maybe 40 or 50% if you don't have the expenses going out, and have that build your emergency fund. They recommend, typically we recommend somewhere between 6, 8, maybe a year's worth of bills as an emergency fund. And this could include also things like replacing the tires on your car, maintenance on your vehicle, even a down payment on your vehicle. And hopefully they've been thinking about that before they enter into college, but sometimes it just doesn't quite happen. So automating really does help, even for bill paying. It keeps your credit history intact.
Now, when I was in college, I had a little checkbook, and I think I maybe had an ATM card, but there was not a close by ATM. So I wrote checks for everything. I wrote these $3 checks for things at the grocery store, and I was able to keep track of them very easily. Now there's Apple Pay on my phone, and I can just swipe it, and I'm using my debit card like crazy. I have all these things set up on auto pay that come straight out of the account. How do young people, how should they be tracking their spending on a monthly basis the way we used to balance a checkbook? How do we do this now?
There's a lot of tools, online tools. Most banks and credit unions, you can log onto your account, using a mobile app. At Newsenda, we have that capability, and a lot of other applications that let you track your accounts.
So just go online and you can see everything you spent and how much you have.
Absolutely, and the key to that is really doing that and doing that often. And also keeping in mind that what you see online may or may not be a real-time representation of what you actually have in your account, because sometimes it does take some transactions a little while to actually clear your account. So knowing what you've spent and knowing, oh, okay, well, I did go to the grocery store, but I don't see that on my account ledger, and accounting for that.
It's a lot quicker than it used to be. Are there apps or other technology things that people can use?
There are apps. There are, I know Newsenda and Kirtland Frederick Credit Union both has FinanceWorks, which actually is a budgeting tool. It's a free budgeting tool, and you can just, it gives you all your purchase history, and you can categorize it. You can set goals, and once you've met a goal, say for your gas expenses for this month, if you exceed that, you can have it send you an email or a text saying, hey, you're done. You can actually script it any way you like. You're done and no more chocolate either. You know, that kind of messaging. So that helps. I was going to mention as well, when you view your online checking history, it actually tells you what's pending as well. That's very helpful, and that's usually a problem for people who forget what you've swiped.
Right.
Those kind of things. And then a caution for that too, because gas stations will typically do a hold on your account that many people don't realize.
If your financial tank is low, then that can really get you in trouble. It's $75 hold,
Right.
and
Yes.
you don't have that in your account, and you're like freaking out.
Correct. And Gwyneth, you may know that you put $35 worth of gas in your SUV, but what they're holding is $75 in case you drove off, and that's usually a 3-day hold.
Right.
And if you're running, as you said, really close to the margin, that can really impact your budget and incur some NSF fees and other unhappy things.
Right before we go, we have time just for one quick piece of advice. What is the best piece of advice that you would have for a young person stepping out for the first time into their grown-up financial lives? I'll go to you, Shauna, first.
Sure, I would recommend just learning as much as you can about money management. Newsenda Credit Union has worked with the governor's office, and we are sponsoring Money Management Week coming up August 17th through the 23rd. And in association with Money Management Week, we will be offering multiple workshops and seminars for New Mexicans to learn some of the things we've been talking about today, some of the tips and tricks and things that help us build our financial capability.
Judy?
Excellent. We just did our event this past Saturday that teaches kids from the ages 4 through 18 all sorts of different things about financial management, and we also teach the parents along with. It's kind of fun. Actually, it's a very fun event. But the one piece of advice, aside from, I think as adults we all need to continuously learn as much as we can just to get through happily, but is to set up that emergency fund. That'll get you out of a multitude of trouble, and it doesn't really matter if it's only $5 every pay period. It does add up, and it's amazing how many times you just need $25 to get you over some crisis, and you don't necessarily want to go to a payday lender because that just compounds your problems, not your interest. So do get that emergency fund. It is a hard lesson to teach. It's a simple principle, but it's not easy. But you think about it as a beverage from a coffee shop or a couple of candy bars. Just put that $5 every pay period away, $10 if you can, more if you can, depending on what your living situation is. It's amazing how often it comes up. You had mentioned something too about having tax withholdings from their paychecks, and many people get the max amount held so that they get this huge return in the beginning of the year. But you got to understand, you're giving a loan to the government and they're not paying interest. So there's better ways to get that money and have it work for you in an interest-bearing account. So we teach those principles as well at Kirtland Federal Credit Union.
Well, thank you both for joining us today. We're going to post some links on our website to some of the information we talked about and a web extra.